Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Pinstripe Prospects Podcast. I'm Rob Pimpsner. I'm filling in this week for Ricky Keeler, and with me is James O'Connell. James, how's it going?
Not bad, Rob. Been worse. Hopefully, we're approaching the end of this whole pandemic.
Me and you both. I can't wait to get out of this, and I can't wait to hopefully get back to the ballpark, but I just can't wait for baseball to return.
Yep.
Well, you guys, we have a great podcast lined up for you today. We're talking with Yankees prospect Isiah Gilliam and Rich Constantine from Pitching In for Minor Leaguers, talking about minor league baseball life and what's going on in the world today. So this is something where I hope you guys learn a lot. And James, what was your biggest takeaway from the interview?
Just a bunch of two good dudes. Just especially Rich really just looks like he's looking out for minor league players who are really struggling. So I'm really looking forward for you guys to listen to this.
Yeah, it was a really good interview, and we won't waste your time. We'll go get right into that interview now. We are here now with Rich Constantine and Yankees prospect Isiah Gilliam talking about pitching in for minor leaguers. Guys, I want to welcome you to the podcast.
Yeah, hey, I'm very happy to be here. Pitching In for Minor Leaguers is a company that we've created to really help out minor league baseball players during this whole situation. I don't know if many viewers know this, but the average minor league baseball player makes somewhere between $8,000 to $10,000 annually, which puts them even below the United States national poverty line of a little bit over $11,000. This company was created to really make a positive impact in a lot of players' lives. And so we have created this company that they can sell merchandise and other products on our website, and they get 50% off all profits. But actually tonight, or they get 50% of all profits. But actually tonight, we're giving our featured guest, Isiah Gilliam, 100% of all profits. They've used his code Isiah Gilliam on our website.
Yeah, thank you, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Isiah, thank you for joining in. A lot of Yankees prospect watchers are definitely big fans of yours. I know I'm a big fan. I remember that nice home run you had in spring training last year.
Oh, thank you.
I've seen plenty of your home runs down in the complex during minor league spring training and during the season. So thank you for coming on board.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And for those that don't know, that minor league baseball players' salaries has been a big topic of discussion in the baseball industry over the last year. A lot of media has started paying attention to just how low minor league baseball players are being paid. And to somewhat of their credit, Major League Baseball announced that minor league baseball minimum salaries are going to be raised in 2021 to a minimum of about $1,600 a month for first-year players, and going up from there across the different levels of minor league baseball. But minor league baseball players right now, a Class A guy is making about $1,100 a month, and they only get paid during the months that they play regular season. So they don't get paid for spring training, instructional league, or any mini camps like that they attend. And it's a really tough life. We'll go through a little bit about minor league baseball and what their life is like, so you guys get to really hear from Isiah how it is on the road, how it is playing in some of these stadiums. The Yankees, I will say, are better off than a lot of other organizations. If you ever been to a Yankees minor league affiliate, from rookie ball all the way to AAA, the stadiums are some of the best around, and they really put the money into taking care of a lot of their minor league players, but they still don't make a lot of money. So, Richard, I definitely want to kick it off with you, and you told us a little bit about the idea behind pitching in for minor leaguers, but tell us a little bit about how minor leaguers have really embraced this concept, and a little bit more about how you started this off.
Yeah, so the company idea started behind when actually me and one of my best friends from high school, he got drafted last year by the Cincinnati Reds. Him and I went on a road trip a few weeks ago, and on it was a 6-hour trip each way. And during the trip, we were discussing finances because I'm actually a finance major, and I've passed my CFA test, which is essentially it's like one of the highest certifications for investments and investment professionals and stuff like that. And so Graham was talking to me about how he could have a job during this situation, and just how he could actually stay busy and not just be useless like at home, and be able to still make a positive impact on, because he's actually getting married in January, and he wanted to be able to help support his fiance and pay for the wedding and all this stuff. And so one of our other good friends from high school, his name is Daniel Wright. He was actually the state manager of Cutco Knives, which is a commission-based sales force. And I suggested to Graham that he reach out to Daniel and see if he could find a job with him. And so Daniel gave him a job, and Graham made a decent amount of money doing that. But then the thought came to me was, why limit this to just one minor league baseball player when there's a ton of them that aren't getting paid right now? That, I mean, even if they are getting paid, they're getting paid a very, very small amount. And why limit this to one product? And so me and a few of my friends from like previous encounters, we came up with this idea of pitching in for minor leaguers. And essentially what we did, us three have reached out to different companies in different industries that have agreed to sell their products to us at wholesale cost. And then we list them on our website at retail cost. And we are giving 50% of all profits back to the minor league baseball player who sold the item. And so most players are incredibly excited to start with us. Actually, this is kind of funny, but a few of them think that, we are not quite like real, because like most companies, who gives 50% of all profits back to their employees? But I mean, we really do, strive to help out minor league baseball players, because I mean, we understand the time and effort it takes for them to actually make it to the level that they're at, and they deserve the best of what what like their talents are. And we really hope that we can actually make a very positive impact in all these minor league baseball players' lives.
Yeah,
Isaiah, just a question for you. Being a minor league player through this entire kind of process here with the pandemic, how is that? How you been dealing with that, and how have your teammates and everyone else been dealing with that as well?
Honestly, probably just like any other American, we've been taking it day by day. Staying ready so you don't have to get ready. Basically trying to keep our skills, staying active in the weight room, making ends meet. I know a lot of friends of mine are starting to, pick up a temporary job, such as like, Uber Eats and, businesses like that. So pretty much just trying to stay proactive.
Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about, this situation. Obviously, the Yankees kind of were hit harder than a lot of other teams because, unfortunately, a couple of players were diagnosed with the coronavirus early on, and that causing a lot of suspension of minor league spring training, closure of the minor league complex, and all of you guys having to be quarantined. So can you tell us a little bit how that experience was for you?
I guess it was shocking because we're all pretty much like you're hearing it on the news and different countries and starting to come into the United States, and maybe you might be a little skeptical then, but to actually witness it and in the close quarters that that surrounds you, it's kind of like you kind of take a different approach at it, and you realize how how real this is and how serious it is. And, luckily we all got better. And I'm saying we as a team because, there's no I in team. So if one person's affected, we're all affected. So we healed pretty much in probably a little less than a week. Thank God. And, yeah.
And throughout this whole thing, the Yankees have done a very good job in taking care of you guys, even at the beginning when you were quarantined in the hotels. They did a lot to make sure you guys were okay. Tell us, I've seen some of those meals. They looked pretty good, to be honest. So tell us a little bit about how they handled the situation.
I attest honestly that the Yankees handled it like like the organization they are. We had the option to come to a disclosed location every day and receive our meals along with our stipend. So they were basically doing everything they could during a time like this to reassure us and to provide us comfort.
Isaiah, you were in spring training kind of when this all like happened. Do you remember the immediate reaction when all of this stuff was going on when you were in minor league spring training? Like, kind of, was it just confusion? Was it just like what really was the feeling around there?
Well, a lot of the time I was over on the major league side, so I couldn't get a full take on what was going on over there.
Right.
But I have friends and people that I live with that were on the minor league side, and they're basically giving me the inside scoop and whatnot. But it first turned off as like it first turned out as like flu-like symptoms.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got better in like a week. So in less than a week. So we didn't it didn't take until like the actual test to to find out what we had. Then things got serious then.
Yeah.
This whole situation with the coronavirus has made it very hard for minor leaguers. And Richard, I want to bring it back to you a little bit. What programs like this, like pitching in for minor leaguers, and there's a couple others that have popped up over the last few months. Tell us a little bit about like what kind of impact these have in the lives of minor league baseball players.
Right. And so, I mean, as Isaiah can attest, a professional athlete always has to be working on their game if they want to have any chance of actually making it to the MLB or any professional level. I mean, this includes, their long bus rides, early morning workouts, extra BP, and then BP before the game. And then not to mention, they play a game until after 10 p.m., and then they have to do it all over again. So our company, Pitching in for Minor Leaguers, has actually given them a way to work as much or as little as they want and allow them to support themselves from a commission-based standpoint. And, it also gives them the flexibility to work, if they're on the bus, or they can work in the locker room before game when they're eating their meals if they just want to send out, a few messages here and there. So, not only our company, but the other companies that have been started really can make an incredible impact on the lives of minor league baseball players.
Isaiah, to bring it to around that point, not many people realize that minor league baseball, though it may be technically classified as a seasonal position, you have to work all year round to stay in shape, and that may not leave time for a traditional off-season job and stuff like that. So how does the programs like these help you guys out from the player side?
Oh, well, Rob, Richard, he hit it right on the nail. During our free time, the little free time that we have, we can send out messages directly to our fans, and we have deals as well where fans can even interact with players via FaceTime or Zoom call or however you please. And Richard, if you want to touch more on that.
Yeah, and so, I mean, we think that, these guys are incredible role models, not only to, fans, but also like younger kids. I mean, I remember as a little younger kid when I would go to the minor league baseball game in my hometown, that all I wanted to do was get a player autograph. And we have created this system where, Isaiah and other minor league baseball players are very, influential people in not only communities, but in, the baseball world itself. And so we were giving fans a way to be able to like connect with them and learn more about like the day in and day out of minor league baseball, and to actually get to know these guys at a personal level if they want to. And we think that is an incredible, thing that we have done, and that, we're excited that Isaiah and the other minor league baseball players that we have the same passion of like wanting to give back to the fans and us, the fans, of like being willing to contribute to the players.
Yeah, I want to remind everyone listening that if you want to help out, you want to purchase some of these products, We'll have the link to pitching in for minor leaguers in the description of this podcast, as well as Isiah Gilliam's code, so you guys can get 10% off for the next week, and Isiah will get 100% of the profits from everyone using his code for the next week. So we hope you guys, chime in and participate and buy some stuff and help out these minor league baseball players who, they may be incredible athletes, but unfortunately, right now they're not being paid as such. So to bring things to a little bit of a lighter side, Isiah, I definitely want to tell us a little bit about what it's like as a minor league baseball player. Like, what is the typical day minor league baseball players go through, to give our listeners a bit of an understanding?
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'll give you the minor league spring training schedule. So basically, we'll probably have breakfast available at 6:45 in the morning. So you have that time until 7:45 to eat, because at 7:45 you have a meeting for hitters. Then after the meeting, you probably change into your your workout gear, go out and field for stretch at 8:15. Then probably at around, we probably spend 15, 20 minutes stretching and getting a little activation in. So probably around 8:30, 8:35, we'll do base running, which is another form of activation, get running around and whatnot. Then we'll have a hydration station at 8:45, so that's a little break for us. And then probably around 9 o'clock, we'll start our infield, outfield throwing program, which will lead to defensive drills at around 9:15. And then the defensive drills it's probably one of the most toughest parts of our day, because defense, especially me being an outfielder, it's a lot of agility work, covering a lot of ground and whatnot. So it could be a little strenuous on the body. So after defensive drills, we'll probably have another hydration station at 9:45. We're all about hydrating, staying healthy, eating right, and all that stuff, because down in Tampa, that heat, man, being out there all day, that can lead to injury and whatnot. So at around we'll hydrate and we'll rest for probably about 15 minutes, and then we'll start our hitting drills and our routine. And then at around 10:30, we'll go out on the field and hit BP for an hour until 11:30. Then we'll head inside to shower up, eat a quick lunch, and we'll change for a 1 o'clock game. But you have to be on the field at around 12:45 to activate one more time before the game. So first pitch is about 1. A spring training game can be really, really fast or really, really slow, depending on, if you're rolling innings and whatnot. So we'll say probably a game might be about 2.5 hours. So the game will end at 3:30. If you're home, you can go right into the complex and shower. But if you're let's say if we're all the way out in Sarasota, it's about an hour commute there and back. So we probably won't get back till 5:30, then to shower, get in our cars and head home. So in reality, it's probably about a 9-hour day, 9 to 10-hour day.
Yeah, and not many people realize exactly how much work goes into being a minor league baseball player, because especially if you're doing extra work, I know a lot of players do the extra work, it can easily get into a 10, 11-hour range. And you're right, that Florida heat is nothing to scoff at. I spent many spring down in Tampa for spring training, and being in that can be rough.
Oh, yeah,
And surprisingly, it may look overcast, it may look fine, but you got to make sure you're hydrated and definitely have sunscreen on, because it can catch you.
You can't escape the humidity.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst part.
Sure. Isiah, last year was the first time you promoted mid-season in the middle of the year. Was it a difficult adjustment going from Florida to New Jersey? Was that an adjustment period for you, or it was just a smooth transition?
I'll say it was an adjustment period, just because, like you said, I wasn't promoted during the mid-season. I was always promoted towards the end of spring training, going on to a new year. Okay. So yeah, the transition was tough. The turnaround was tough. I was going from, at the very bottom of Miami. I think we were in West Palm during the time. So kind of near Miami, flying all the way up north to Portland, Maine. So, and then having to start that game too. It was kind of like, it's really tough to, overcome. But yeah, the adjustment period was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit crazy that people don't realize exactly stuff like that in minor league baseball life. You could be called up, you make it to the stadium a half hour, or sometimes in the middle of a game. I've seen that one happen too, and end up playing in the game. And you know, people think that baseball, it's like they say it's a kid's game. It's all about fun, but it really is a lot of work to play baseball at this level in the minor leagues, and even harder to get up to the majors or get up to the next level, even from Class A to Double A. Because when we look at the Yankees organization, we were looking at an organization with 9 teams, from one DSL team, 2 GCL teams, Pulaski in the Appalachian League, Staten Island in New York Penn, Charleston in the South Atlantic League, Tampa in Florida State, Trenton, and then Scranton. When you're going from 3 single A teams, you got one Double A team, one Triple A team, and another thing a lot of people don't realize is the roster differences. Double A and Triple A are usually about 25 men each.
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably would have been expanded to 26 men this year if we were going to have a season. But single A teams are 35 men each, so there's just a lot less spots for these guys. So it makes being prepared, getting your work in, much more important to make sure you get up to that level. And it's not just you show up and you play a game. You're not just sitting around for hours on end waiting for a game to start. You guys are actually doing a lot of work that goes into it. And that's something I want a lot of people to get out from this, is that minor league baseball is a job. It's a full-time job. It's year-round because you have to stay in shape year-round.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about, you've played in a lot of different minor league baseball stadiums in your career, Isiah. Which one is your favorite?
Oh man, well, like you said earlier, being in the Yankees organization, you have the luxury of playing, you know, in some of the best stadiums, and you get to call it your home. And it's surrounded by great cities. For example, Charleston, Tampa, Trenton. All the way. I haven't been to Scranton yet, but I can only imagine how passionate their fan base is, and how beautiful their city is. But some of the most prestigious ballparks to me, okay, there was one in Asheville. That's in Low A. Babe Ruth got to play there, so that was a pretty historic field. But as far as like just straight up nice fields, I mean, Hartford is top notch. Hartford's like a mini major league stadium. Charleston has the atmosphere. You're playing on the river. Um, Man, there's a bunch of stadiums. There's definitely more nice stadiums than bad. So I can go on and on. But I mean, playing in High A with the Tampa Tarpons, that's the official spring training field of the Yankees. So you can only imagine what their facilities look like underground.
Yeah, that stadium is beautiful, and there's a lot in there that is not in a traditional minor league stadium because it is the spring training home of the Yankees. Uh, Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now. Is staying ready for the season. If there's a minor league season, what is it like dealing with the uncertainty going on, and how you're trying to stay prepared for baseball?
Yeah, so I come from a military family, and my dad used to always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So, uh, and I'm sure a lot of minor league players out there are doing the same because, I mean, like you said, it's our job. However, we are facing obstacles. We're quarantining right now, so facilities are closed. That might lead to creative but not efficient workouts. I remember when I was down in Tampa, like to stay active, me and my boys, we would go out and we shoot hoops for about an hour and a half. Just kind of move around. We'll throw the football around. We'll do some push-ups, sit-ups here and there. Try and stay functional. But from a baseball perspective, that's not the best. That's not the most you can do. So, and then and then you facing other obstacles like there's some guys we're on edge right now. So I know a lot of people will feel like they're working out with no purpose, training for a season that's not promised. And the main reason why we're here from a financial standpoint, workouts aren't free. This is the time now where, people ration and they have their budget and they figure out what's a necessity and what's not. But since, this is our job, this is a necessity. So, depending on how bad you want it, you're going to go out there and work out. So.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like I was saying, minor league baseball is a full-time job, and staying in shape is a big part of that, and getting access to the right facilities is a big part of that. And like you said, it was a good point. They're not free, and they do cost a lot of money. I have my own gym membership that I pay for, and I'm sure you have a gym membership, and also facilities for baseball players, whether it's hitting cages or access to these new tools that are out there to work on your game. A lot of that stuff is not free, and with the uncertainty right now, minor league baseball players in some organizations are not being paid at all after May 31st, and we don't know what's going to happen with the minor league baseball season. So there needs to be something that comes and helps out, and this is a great way to help out minor league baseball players and help them financially get through this tough time. I know we're all struggling, but every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, without doubt. And so, like Isaiah was saying, and you guys were too. I mean, most of these guys, they do sign for a signing bonus, but for most guys, the signing bonus isn't enough money to carry them out for a full year. And these guys aren't just, supporting themselves, most of them. Most of these guys, especially if they've been in the minor leagues for over a year, they either have, a girlfriend or a fiance or, even a kid. And these guys are still getting paid incredibly little amount of money. And they cannot afford to either they have to be in debt to support their family and chase their dream of playing minor league baseball, or they have to quit playing minor league baseball and actually find a job in the real world. And I know most of the people don't, or most of your viewers might understand like how hard it is to actually quit something that you're incredibly passionate about. Like, these guys have given their full life to being at the talent level that they're actually at. They've dedicated all, the springs, the summers, the falls, and even the winters just to baseball at the end of the day. And yeah, I mean, the money aspect should not be why they quit chasing their dream.
100%, I agree with you. I like that take, and I think that's a great way to end our interview here. And I want everyone to know, go to Pitching In for minor leaguers. You use the code Isiah Gilliam. You guys will get 10% off for the next week, and Isiah Gilliam will get 100% of the profits for the next week. And you guys will help out a Yankees prospect on his way up. And if you want to keep seeing him hit dingers in the stadium, make sure you come and purchase something, or show support. Minor league baseball players need help in this time, just like everyone else, and even in good times, they still need help. So I hope everyone gets a little bit of an understanding of what it's like in the minors in 2020 and beyond.
Yeah. Can I add one last thing?
Sure.
Right. So currently, right now, we're supporting about a little over 20 minor league baseball players. And most of these guys have made over, a few $100s in this past week. But with that being said, throughout all the teams in the minor league baseball, there's about 5,000 different minor league baseball players that are currently on rosters. Most of these guys are still feeling the uncertainty, like we've talked about, for the past segment, that their season could be canceled and they could not be getting paid at all. And so in the near future, we really hope that we can, help as many minor league baseball players as possible. So if any of you guys know any minor league baseball players that might potentially be interested in partnering with us, we would love for you to send them our way. And also, if you guys know any companies that would like their products featured on our website, we would love to entertain all the offers and see what we can come up with.
All right. Yeah, and just one last thing for me, I'd like to thank everybody listening. You guys are the reason why I wake up every morning and go work out, so I can try and keep on putting those balls over the fence for you. And I really appreciate, considering and hopefully what you guys are going to do and helping us so we can continue to do that with confidence. And Rob, I'd like to thank you for having us on here. And Rich, I'd like to thank you because, you're the one that, you're one of the co-founders.
Absolutely, man. Like we really do share the same passion with you, and we want to help you and all the minor leaguers that we can.
Yeah, thank you guys both for coming on. I appreciate it, and I'm happy to help you guys out the best I can. And be on the lookout because we're going to be doing more with pitching in for minor leaguers over the next few weeks. Stay tuned for some announcements on that end. And there's going to be a lot going on in terms of showcasing these minor leaguers and their stories. So I hope you guys join us for that. I hope you guys go to pitching in for minor leaguers and check out what they're doing. Anyway, guys, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it, and this has been a great conversation. And I know a lot of people have learned a lot about minor league life from this.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
That was Isiah Gilliam and Richard Constantine talking about minor league baseball life and what it's like to be a minor league baseball player in the world around us. James, what was your takeaways from that?
Yeah, just again, just a really great cause there. Really happy to have him on. Rich really laid out. He's laying out some good things for these minor leaguers, and Isiah painted a fantastic picture of just what's going on in the minor leagues with this pandemic and with all the uncertainty, and just gave us a nice little peek inside the life of a minor leaguer. So thanks to both of them coming on; they were phenomenal.
Yeah, we specifically kept this interview about the life of a minor leaguer, so you guys get to learn a lot more about that side of the sport. And right now in the world today, minor league baseball players are struggling because of a couple of reasons. There's this coronavirus, and there's no season as of yet. Traditionally, minor league baseball players do not get paid unless it's during the regular season. And as of right now, most teams have not committed to pay minor league baseball players past May 31st. So it's a very tough time out there. And even when they were being paid, they don't get paid a lot of money. Minor league baseball players right now are being paid $400 a month stipend, but that only goes so far. You can't really live off of that. And then you have teams like the Oakland Athletics, and what they announced, unfortunately, they're not paying their minor league baseball players at all after May 31st. And right now it seems to be the only team who has said that they would not pay them, and that's a travesty.
Well, I expect nothing. It's not that the Oakland A's are like a scum organization. They're not. They're a top organization, but financially, they just don't have it. So that's just one of those teams where I'm expecting. I was expecting kind of something along the lines of that happening. They can't fill half of their stadium most of the time. So look for those small market teams to really, unfortunately, take that jab at the minor leaguers. I don't expect the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and those teams to really do what the A's just did. I'm not going to put it past the owners because the owners are kind of on everyone's shit list right now. It just is what it is. It's very sad. It's unfortunate for all these minor leaguers who are hoping to grind their butt off to make it to the major leagues, but it's these small market teams. Of course, they're going to however they can save money, they're going to do it. And it's just unfortunate it comes at the cost of minor leaguers.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it across the board, on average, most of these organizations have about 250 minor leaguers under contract. And, for an organization like the A's to say, we're not paying you anything, but still holding them to the terms of their contract, that is just, to me, is just, I can't, the only word I can think of is just scummy. Because these players can't go to another organization to get paid, trying to find work in this environment is difficult enough with record unemployment, and just to like say we're going to force you to honor this contract, but we're not going to pay you at all. To me, is just the wrong signal to send, especially in a time when we're going to be having a shortened MLB draft, and you're going to have the pick of the litter of guys to sign for $20,000, and how you treat minor league players is going to come into a big play when trying to sign these free agent amateur players.
Agreed, 100% agreed. And speaking of financials, let's head into the financial proposal to the players that the Major League Baseball made. What are your thoughts there, Rob? What do you think? You think they're gonna get a deal done? How is this gonna play out here?
I think there will be a deal done, but it's not going to look anything like this proposal that's come out. My view, and this is my personal view, my personal take, I'm not going to speak for anyone else, is, I understand wanting to limit your financial hit in this calendar year. Mm-hmm. But you agree to prorated salaries. Pay the prorated salaries. When it comes down to it, baseball teams, Major League Baseball teams, do not make as much money through attendance as they did through media rights. They're not minor league teams. Minor league teams make all their money through attendance concessions and sponsorships of people in the stands. Major League Baseball teams, most of their revenue comes from media rights. And that is, to me, it's absurd that they want to cut salaries so much for this season. I don't know about you, but it just seems like they're just trying to nickel and dime these players.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't the deal. This is not the deal that's going to get it done, and it's really taken a hit. The guys that are really taking a hit are the, so to speak, the top money makers in the league. It almost feels like it's like a communist proposal here. I don't have to get into politics, but this is absolutely ridiculous. So I have it up here on SB Nation. If you have 30 players making $35 million to make 22% of their salary, are you outside of your mind? That's not going to happen. The Players Association is not going to allow this to happen. It's just such a little like scummy proposal. I don't mind the 46%. So I have the numbers up here. It really from if you're making $2 million or $500,000 to $2 million, you're getting about 40% of your salary, which it's not great, but like you are playing 50% of a season. So I feel like those numbers are kind of closer to fair. But when you get to 35, when you get all the way down to the players making $35 million, so Garrett Cole's only going to make $7 million this year after signing that contract. That's not. No one's signing up for that. None of the agents are going to allow it. Just, and you just saw. I don't know if you saw a little while ago, Scott Boras rumored to be getting involved with the situation because he wants his players to make money. Yeah, and you can't just completely axe the salaries of these top guys. It's not going to work. It was such a weak and like almost embarrassing proposal. I cannot believe they agreed to like 17. If you were making $35 million, you agreed to approximately like $18 million per rate salary. Now it's down to $7.8 million. Not going to happen, guys. Great try, but maybe next time. It's just not something that will not work.
Yeah, to me, it seems like this proposal, all it serves to do is they want to try to split the players. And this is a similar tactic to what they were trying to do with minor league baseball owners in the negotiations for the new professional baseball agreement. Pit them against each other. Pit the guys that are younger and hungry against the guys that are making their money. And, we saw with minor league baseball, it kind of worked, but that was only because of the coronavirus happening. And I'm not seeing this is going to work. If you do that drastic of a pay cut, the guys that are making that much money might say, fuck it, I'm not going to play this year.
Yeah. I could see. Listen, that's the energy we got from Blake Snell. On a switch stream, he's not playing this year for half a salary, and this is going to be even less than half a salary. So this is not the players and the owners here are just so far apart, and it's kind of scary how far apart they are.
Yeah, to me, I think, and I hope this is probably where it's going to end up being is, they'll pay a certain amount this year to the guys, and over the next, say, 3 years, it's deferred money that's paid out over a longer period of time, maybe with interest, maybe not, I don't know. But to me, I think that's where we're ultimately going ahead. And I do believe that they'll come to an agreement. But I just don't see Major League Baseball coming off as a place where people want to watch because of this situation. You know, throughout, and we've seen this with the PBA negotiations with minor league baseball. MLB and MLB leadership and MLB owners are coming off again as penny pinching assholes and against the future of the sport. And it's turning a lot of people off from the sport. I know a lot of people that said because of the situation, because of how MLB has handled everything, they're giving up on baseball entirely. And to me, if that happens, and then you go into negotiations with the players union for a new CBA, there's a chance that the next 2 years can really either hurt or help the future of the game, and we may be in a very pivotal moment.
Yeah, agreed, Rob. This is really a sticky situation, and I don't know. I'm getting less optimistic that we'll have baseball this year.
I mean, I'm still holding out hope that there'll be baseball in some form or another, but I'm really hoping that Major League Baseball finds someone and some way to say, hey, we need to start looking towards the future because we're hurting our game right now, and we're sacrificing long-term stability and long-term growth for short-term solutions that are ultimately going to hurt us.
For sure, agreed.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, I love the sport of baseball, and I'm sure you do too. I know a lot of people do. What to me is there's a lot of young people that love the sport of baseball but hate the decision makers in charge of baseball, and I think that's turning a lot of people off from the game and hurting this game so much is that they just don't want to see it. And unfortunately, I think this proposal to the Players Association is just another example of that.
Yep, the spitting in the face of the players. It's really what it comes down to.
I think they're also spitting in the face of the fans because they're trying to make it, the millionaires don't want to take a pay cut. Well, the billionaires don't want to give up their record profits.
Yep.
And, I think Major League Baseball got all pissed off with minor league baseball when they leaked the information about the PBA negotiations to the media in October, where we see Major League Baseball take the same tack right here with the Players Association, and it backfired big time because no one is siding with the owners on this, and it just paints them in a bad light. And I hope somewhere somebody sees it and says, hey, we need to change things.
Got to get a deal done somehow. They have to do it.
They do, and something has to happen. Bring these two sides together and say, hey, we need to put this, and for the future of the sport, we need to get something done quickly. Because to get players back in June 10th for spring training and everything, the deal needs to be done by the beginning of June, and we need to figure out what's going on. Because I'm assuming players are going to want to have to isolate for a little while before or after they arrive and wherever they're going to be doing their workouts. And something is going to have to happen. And what we haven't talked about this week is the health and safety. You want to give these guys a huge pay cut, but you're not doing enough to handle the safety of the players, not enough testing. And we've heard this in the media. The players do not think the MLB proposal on the health and the safety protocols is enough. So far, the only thing that people agreed on is that the universal DH will happen. That's the only thing people can agree on. I think everyone can agree on that in this day and age, but they just seem so far apart on everything.
Yeah, well, it's almost about time for the universal DH, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I just see no reason why pitchers should hit in baseball right now. It's 2020. Limit the injuries. You guys, you're paying these guys millions and millions of dollars, and you really want them to do something that they're not really trained to do. I mean,
yeah.
Look at the minors. DHs are everywhere. Every team uses a DH, and that's how they're taught the game. So let's just keep the universal DH. The season's going to be um, different, to say the least, if it happens. And, universal DH, I think everyone agrees on, that will happen. I'm sure the Players Association will love it. It creates more jobs in baseball. It gives, some guys new life. I think this works out for guys like Robinson Cano, who may not be as good of a fielder as he once was, but he's still a great hitter, and he has a new lease on life with the Mets. I think it works out for them.
Yeah. Yeah. For those players that are looking for that second life, that even in the National League, that will help tremendously.
100%. And we know Yankees and Mets, when they're given the green light, they will go to Florida to train and not New York, and which is understandable. Florida, you could be a lot more spaced out. You could easier to practice social distancing. The facilities down there, allow for a lot more players because it's created for spring training. They have 2 complexes down there, so they could do a lot of work down there. And the likelihood of seeing the Yankees up north in Yankee Stadium will probably be little to start the year.
Yeah. I really don't know what to expect from really anything this year. I'm going in with an open mind, and I'm just hoping for baseball, man. That's really all it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have not watched any of the Korean Baseball League on ESPN. I just can't wake up that early, but I just want Major League Baseball or some form of baseball to return. I want to be able to watch baseball. I want to be able to talk about baseball and have something new to keep my mind off everything. And I think that's what people need in the world right now, is something to entertain, something to keep their minds off what's going on. And hopefully Major League Baseball and the Players Association agree to a deal where that can happen, because there's opportunity here for baseball to be the first major sport back and have the attention of the whole world. But they need to not squander it.
Yeah, I hope they don't blow this. This is an opportunity they need. They need this for the sport, 100%.
We're going to wrap it up here for the Pinstripe Prospects podcast this week, and we're going to move into our final thoughts. And James, why don't we start with you?
The match 2, phenomenal. Tiger Woods, unbelievable. Peyton Manning, surprisingly very good at golf. It was really exciting to get some live sporting. That was really cool to watch those guys kind of interact, talk. Tom Brady hold one out from 150 yards. I don't know if anyone was watching, but it was a great event. The match 2, A+, very happy. Thank you to everyone who put that together.
Yeah, and for me, I hope you guys check out pinstripeprospects.com. We have a lot of great draft profiles leading up to the MLB draft in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned for everything we have going on with the MLB draft and some other stuff we're planning. We're working on filling out more content for the website. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you give us that 5-star rating. We need that. Make sure you leave us a comment and let us know what you think of the podcast, what you want to see going forward. We really want you guys to be a part of this. And also, guys, be sure to sign up for a Pinstripe Prospects Dugout subscription. Pinstripe Prospects Dugout subscribers get a lot of cool benefits, including no ads on the website. You guys don't have to worry about pop-up ads or anything like that ruining the experience for you, as well as access to exclusive interviews, features, and scouting reports. And that money goes towards helping us out. It covers our expenses. It covers our hosting. It covers everything we need to do to bring you the best Yankees minor league coverage on the net. And we're going to do more in the future to bring you more coverage and more cool things. And for everyone at Pinstripe Prospects, we hope you guys enjoy the podcast. We hope you enjoy the website. So please let us know what you think. And good night.
Later.